Actually asked on Instagram if you guys had any questions. So first question is from Toya CEO. Hey girl. So she asks how long did it take for your locks to actually lock? What products do you use to retwist? So for my hair to actually lock, you know what, I would say that by the 5th or 6th month, like it was solidified, right? But also you have to remember that I was interlocking like every 2 months. So as far as I was concerned, the hair from the root onwards, from when I started interlocking, which was like 2 months after I started my locks, were already locked, right? So that part was locked, but like obviously the rest of my hair was still in braids, like physical visible braids where you could be like, okay, she got braids, like it's not locks yet, right? But I would say that by the 6th month mark, people started to be like, braids, what's she doing? I'd say it took me from 6 to 8 months for my hair to like be like, okay, we locked, we're not going back and this is our life from now on, and that's what it is. Next question from Stephanie Morgan says, do people stare at your hair? So in the beginning, they did, because it was just so cute, you know, like I had like braids, I had like chocolate brown hair, and then I had and it was like all braided, and then the ends were like super coily, and so like it looked like a style, you know, because it just looked like cute braids with like super coily ends. And like however I styled it, like I typically used to like drop it like a waterfall, like my bangs, well not bangs, but like, you know, they were short back then, so like it looked like bangs, and so it just used to look really cute. So people, yeah, I mean, if something looks cute, you know, they're gonna be staring at it and like be curious about it, right? People definitely stare, and like now with this color, and like now that it's getting a little longer and I do like more interesting styles, people still stare. But I mean, it's what comes with being fabulous, like, you know, you can't really blame the hair. I have many. From Coral Blue number 5. Okay, did you experience shrinkage after installing your braid locks before they started appearing longer? Major shrinkage, not necessarily due to wetting hair. Okay, so right now I'm sure you guys think like my hair looks like a lot longer, and that's because, like I said, it's still kind of wet. It hasn't completely dried yet. Once it dries, I'm probably gonna lose, like, it's gonna come like up to here, and it'll be like a lot thicker. It'll like come up to like here, but like when it's wet, it like stretches down a little bit because like it's wet. But when I locked my hair, when I did all those braids on April 1st, 2016, when I straightened my hair, like the December before, so December of 2015, when I straightened my hair came all the way down to my boob. Okay, so like straightened natural, loose natural hair came up to like, can you even see what I'm doing? Came up to like right here. And then when I braided my hair, it came up to like right here. So yes, I definitely experienced shrinkage, and I feel like I'm like barely now coming back to the length that I had when I was a loose natural, and like that took 2 years to like recover that length. So like, yeah, it's gonna shrink, girl. And then she says, I read an article that detailed how braid locks are ideal for individuals that sweat a lot in their scalp or that wish to maintain their locks with interlocking. What exactly do you think this means? Okay, this is a very good question because I get this question a lot too. If you want to be able to do many things without having to worry about your roots getting puffy or your roots unraveling, then interlocking is probably the way for you. So there's really only like 3 ways of maintaining locks, right? You can either palm roll it every 2 weeks, 1 month, 3 months, whatever you want to do. You can interlock it with a tool, or you can freeform. That's like, those are the 3 ways that you can maintain your new growth as your hair grows out of your head to put it back into the lock, right? I chose interlocking because I have to wash my hair every week, okay? So there's no way I'm gonna like palm roll or retwist my hair on a Sunday and then looking all cute, and then the next Sunday I'm gonna wash it, and then all of the rolling that I did the previous Sunday is gonna unravel. If that happened to me, oh my god, guys, like I would cry, okay? Like I would just cry. And you know what, that kind of happened to me because I think it was like it was like in October. it's like no, it was like October, September, something like that. So like I was interlocking like some section of my hair, and I was like, oh, you know what, let me just like palm roll it like for the rest of the hair, instead of like doing this interlocking. Like this is like too much effort. Let me like do palm rolling and like see how it is. So like I palm roll my hair, and like it didn't take me that long. Like I didn't use any clips because I don't own any clips, because I don't do palm rolling to begin with. So I just like palm roll it on itself, and like, you know, you can do that and like it won't unravel. And it looked cute because, you know, like it's all like coiled, and like it goes with your hair, because like our hair is coily, so it's just like ooh, and just like it just looked good. And I was like, ooh, maybe I should switch to like palm rolling my hair. And then y'all, it came time for me to wash it, and I was like, Jesus, please don't let all this palm roll unravel, because I would just cry. Like I could have just spent my time interlocking these babies and I would have been good for the next 2 months. But no, I was like, let me palm roll it, let me be cute. Girl, I took into that water. Girl, everything came undone. I came out the shower, like all the hair was like undone, and I was like, oh my god. So basically the advice that I give to you, because when I was researching about my braid locks, the reason why I chose to do braid locks and not twists or like coils or any other method that would require me, that wouldn't have braids, is either sister locks or get braid locks. And I wasn't going to do sister locks because I didn't want to have that much hair, because I know my hair is already thick, and if I do sister locks, I'm probably going to have like 5,000 strands, and like my hair is just going to be like this big, and I don't want to deal with that either. So I decided braid locks because I wanted to interlock, and I know that when I started my braid locks, I didn't want my hair to shrink up as much as it would with 2-strand twists. Because I mean, if you think about it, when you have like loose natural hair and you do like you want to do a twist out, and like you put your hair in twists, like you know that there's that section of your root where like it's just always gonna shrink and be puffy on its own, and it won't like take the coil. Whereas if you did braid outs, like, you know, like the whole thing is going to be basically defined. I hope that makes sense to y'all if y'all had loose natural hair, because that doesn't sound like it makes sense out loud. But anywho's, but if you have a very active lifestyle, like what I'm saying is that, you know, palm rolling may not be the most efficient way to spend your time, you know. But if you're somebody that knows that you don't need to wash your hair on a weekly basis, that you wash your hair on a monthly basis, then palm rolling is probably ideal for you, right? Because you palm roll it, you know, tie your scarf. You want to go to the gym, even if you sweat a lot, as long as you tie your scarf, like the scarf will probably absorb some of that sweat, and then you can, you know, air dry or something like that, and like your retwist will last you a long time. But I know myself, and I know I need to wash my hair every week, so there's no way I'm gonna spend like 2.5 hours every week retwisting my hair. And plus, I don't want to be bald either, because that's what's gonna happen if you do that every week. So I decided to interlock. That way I can interlock once every 2 months, but now it's about to be like 6 months. But I can interlock, you know, for like a really long time. I know that once I interlock it, like, the hair will be locked immediately, and it won't come undone when I wash my hair on a weekly basis, right? So that's the main reason why I chose interlocking, and that's why some people say that interlocking is better for people who have an active lifestyle, because you can interlock your hair, you can sweat it out, you don't have to do all this, like, you don't have to take extra precautions to like keep your twists, like your retwist, intact, right? You can just do whatever you want with your hair, and like it'll not unravel because it has been locked inside each other. I hope that made sense. Okay, so what she say? At the very beginning of your braid lock journey, what was your wash schedule like? Because of my scalp, I need to wash weekly. With braid locks, would that be a big issue? Mainly towards the beginning since delicate. Okay, so when I did my braid locks on April 1st, 2016, the next day I washed my hair. Because, okay, you know when you have been like a loose natural for like a while, like a hot minute, right? And you haven't gotten like Senegalese twists, you haven't gotten braids, you haven't done any style that has put your hair in like a bind. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you've only just worn your loose natural hair. Like, you did twist outs, you did braid outs, you did like, oh, you just put a bun, you did all these things, but you never like wore like braids where you have to like attach hair, and you never did twists, and you never did crochet, you never did anything that required your hair to like be tightly braided. Like, if you haven't done that in like a very long time, I hadn't done that in like a very long time. So once when I installed the braids, even though I did them myself, and I did them very loosely, like I didn't do it very tight at the roots, to the point where like you basically got like a facelift, you know what I mean? Like, no, like my hair was like, it was pretty loose when I did my braid locks. But even then, like my scalp just couldn't take the fact that like every single strand that I had on my head was like in some type of like bind, as in the braids. So like I think because of that, like my scalp was just so itchy, even though like I think when I installed my braid locks, it was like on day 3 hair, something like that. Like I hadn't just washed it freshly, and so I just washed it, man. Like I washed it and I was just like, oh my, I felt so good. Because you know when you like have natural hair and like all you're used to is like puff puff puff, right? Like big hair. And then like you go to braid locks and you're like, well, I feel very bald. And then when you're washing your bald head, you're like, ooh, my bald head, it feels so smooth, my bald head. So like it's give and take, girl. So what I would say is that in the beginning, because it was braid locks, I could wash it however I wanted. Like if I wanted to wash it rough, I could wash it rough. If I wanted to wash it soft, I could wash it soft, and like nothing came undone. The only thing that may happen, which happened to a couple of my locks, is that, so you know when you braid your hair, so like, okay, let's say you braid it like all the way up to here, and then okay, maybe here, and then the rest of the way down you just like 2-strand twist that, right? So what may happen is that 2-strand twist will like creep all the way up to here. So at some point, some of my locks, like even though I know I braided down to here, after like 3-4 months, like that braid like went up to like here. So I had like this much of like coily ends as opposed to like this much, which I know is what I started with. But like that's not a problem because like you still have that whole thing braided, so like nothing's gonna come undone per se. But if you started with twists, then you know like you have to be careful when you wash your hair, because your roots, well, first of all, they will merge with each other, because like you know twist, just like when you do twist out, if you don't like completely take each one into consideration, it's going to unravel. And also twist is only 2 strands, right? Like it can come undone like at any time, any point in time. So you would have to be careful in the beginning if you start your locks with like 2-strand twist, or if you start your locks with coils, just like the single coil that people do. Well, this is why I get people tell, like some stylists tell people like, oh, don't wash your hair for a month, because they're all afraid that like the moment you go into that water and you start washing your hair, like all the coils are just gonna come undone, because there's nothing holding them together. But when you have braid locks, like it doesn't matter. Like I literally washed my hair however the hell I wanted, and like nothing happened. Like no braid came undone from the root. That I can guarantee you, because it's like, I mean, it's not gonna come undone. It's braided and it's secure, you know? Unless of course you have like 1-inch hair and then you braid that, like obviously that's a different story, that can come undone. But for the most part, I think that if you have braid locks, you should be fine. You shouldn't have to take any like extra precautions to keep the braids intact when you're washing your hair. I think that's it. Coral blue number 5. All right guys, so that is it for my 2-year braid locks anniversary. I want to do another QA video, so if you have any questions in general about braid locks or locks, leave them in the comment section and I will address it in the next video.